What's up guys, my name is Liam and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Endgame Gear XM2w. And as you can already tell by the title, yes, this is the fastest wireless gaming mouse that I've ever tested. So is this going to be able to replace your OP1 8K or your XM2 8K? How does it stack up against the competition? And more importantly, could this possibly be the perfect gaming mouse for you? Let's check it out. Before we get started today, I did want to let you guys know that this is an early impressions video. With that being said, this was also sent out to me. However, everything you're going to be hearing in this video is going to be my own words and my own opinions. And for those of you that are interested in looking at the specifications for the mouse that are listed on the back of the box, here is a shot of that for you. You can go ahead and pause the video if you did want to have a closer look and read through these. But as you can clearly see, this does have a pretty different and unique packaging, and I do really like it. Well, all you do is you just slide this piece off right here, and it does come with a really nice carrying case. So upon opening this up to take a look of everything that is included, over here on the right side, we do got the mouse. Here is the wireless receiver. This does go up to a 4K polling rate. Just so you know, there is no type of an LED indicator or anything on this dongle. The bottom of this is rubberized, so it does sit nicely on your desk. You shouldn't have to worry about it sliding around too much. And then it does come also with a USB-C cable. Then over here on this side, it does come with two sets of skates. These smaller skates were actually already pre-installed on the mouse. I did open this up to run my own latency testing, and normally this was the bigger skates, but I did go ahead and throw the bigger skates on here. And then all that's left is just these two things of documentation. So taking a look at the layout, real simple stuff. Once you do come over here to the bottom, you do have your on and off switch right here. Over here, the mode button, this did change the DPI for me. And as I did mention, you do get this larger skate design. I really do like this skate layout a lot. These skates that do come included on this are a version of, I believe they're around 99.5% PTFE, and these are a little bit on the faster side, so the glide on these have been feeling pretty good. So coming back over to the top, something about these Endgame Gear mice, they just feel rock solid, and they honestly feel like they're on a bit of a different level. So just out of the box, solid feeling, and this does have that very incredible Endgame Gear coating that through time many different mouse manufacturers have tried copying. So without question, if not the best, one of the best coatings out there on the market. This does also come included with the Kailh GX switches. So for those of you that have had experience with the XM2 8K or the OP1 8K, know what to expect. The implementation on these switches just feel absolutely fantastic. With the older XM2w, they were using the optical switches, and I wasn't really a fan of them. They did feel a lot more stiff. I would have to say that these Kailh GX switches, if they're not my absolute favorite switch out there, they're absolutely up there, and the click feeling on these just feel incredible. You get like absolutely no pre or post travel, so really lightweight, easy to spam. No matter where you click the switch from, it feels incredibly consistent front to back. Perhaps gets just a little bit stiffer back here, but not a whole lot. You still can spam very easily if you do some type of a grip back there. Very, very minimal movement I'm getting left to right on the switches, but they do feel really solid. So yeah, everything about these clicks, they do feel really great, lightweight, and easy to spam. The scroll on here, it is kind of tensioned on the steps, and I do like the feeling of it. It doesn't feel like it's too loose or it's too stiff, so it's got a nice solid ground. And the center click is actually pretty lightweight and very easy to spam. And then finally, when it comes to the side buttons, Endgame Gear always does a fantastic job with the side buttons. I'm getting just a little bit of play back here in the rear, but nothing too noticeable. These do sit pretty far back if you measure the rear from the back of the mouse. So I'm usually generally always clicking them from the front anyways. And when you do click them from the front, there's like no pre or hardly any post travel. You don't get a whole lot of rocking there front to back. Very minimal amount, nothing that you notice. And the click on the front side button here, when you click it there from the back, you like no pre, a little bit of post travel, feels solid in the middle and even towards the front. So yeah, everything about this is exactly what I expect with all of the other Endgame Gear mice that I've ever had. Some of the best feeling and best build quality mice that you can get your hands on, in my opinion, through my experience. So let's go ahead and drop the click sound test. I did measure this as soon as I got out of the box with the smaller skates on it. It was coming in at, I believe it was around approximately 60 grams. I did put the bigger skates on here, does put it up to 62.3 grams. One thing I do want to say about the weight of this mouse though, is they really did a phenomenal job with just spreading the weight out and just making the balance on this really solid. So even though this is sitting at 62 grams, to me, it does feel just a little bit lighter than that in the hands. When taking a look at the software over here on the first basic settings tab, this allows you to adjust your liftoff distance and your DPI. Over here on the next tab, you do have your advanced settings tab. I've gone over this in great detail on my OP1 8K video. Just to break it down, for the polling rate, you do have a maximum polling rate of going up to 4,000 Hertz. For the slam click filter and the micro jitter filter, I do recommend leaving these on, as these do give you the most consistent performance overall. Endgame Gear did a lot of testing with both of these options and found that neither one of them impacted the overall performance. And the same thing goes for this multi-click filter. Just so you know, this does not adjust the debounce setting, and this mouse is perfectly tuned to leave it at a setting of 8. So I wouldn't mess with this at all. I would just leave it as it is, unless you are getting any type of double clicking, then perhaps you can raise it up. But adjusting the slider should not impact the overall click latency. And then finally over here to the right, you do have the SPDT option, similar to the OP1 8K or the XM2 8K. Again, I've already gone over this in a lot of detail in my OP1 8K video. I do recommend leaving the GX speed mode turned on to ensure you're getting the lowest click latency possible. But even if you do go back and forth and test both options with the GX speed mode on and off, and you do prefer it off, the performance on this mouse with it turned off is still fantastic. And then lastly, you do have your button mapping tab over here in the middle. The power settings is the next tab, where it does allow you to control the sleep functions for the mouse. And then the final tab over here is to pair a wireless dongle. And as for the performance goes with this mouse, it does feel absolutely insane. The XLAT system does not allow you to use this with the GX speed mode enabled, so you do have to actually turn it off when you run the latency tests. And with the GX speed mode off, this is still measuring to be the quickest latency that I have ever measured on the XLAT. And Endgame Gear does estimate that you do get an additional 1.4 milliseconds of reduced latency when using the GX speed mode, subtracted from your reaction time as you actuate the switch itself. And one final note is that I did find the click latency to come out the same across the 1K, 2K, and the 4K polling rates. All right guys, so that wraps things up on the Endgame Gear XM2w. I'm not going to go into the shape on this because the shape has been around for a pretty long time. I did do a video on the XM2we, and I have compared the XM2we to a bunch of other various mice that are similar. And if you have not had any experience with it, it does have that rear hump style, and I really love this shape a lot. I do feel like this is without question one of the most comfortable and iconic shapes for claw grip of all time. And though clearly the performance is not going to be the exact same as the wired versions of the mice, I must say that they do feel incredibly close. And the fact that they were able to bring over the GX speed mode on here, truly the performance of this mouse in the hands feels fantastic. And with the success of the OP1 8K and the XM2 8K, I do really believe that when people start to get this in their hands and see how great it really feels, that this as well is also going to blow up in popularity. All right guys, so if you have any questions or feel like I left anything out, please let me know in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed watching this video and are interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, please drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.